All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome to the Thursday night live stream. Tonight, I just wanted to sit down and chill with y'all and just have a live Q&A. I dumped a lot of information on y'all Tuesday about the triad of human health, so I figured I'd keep it a little bit lighter today. And, get some of your questions answered that I might have missed Tuesday. And I had some people ask me about like kidney disease. I had somebody ask me about emphysema, things like that. So basically, I kind of just want to answer your questions about like things to put into practice. Tangible things that you can start doing today or first thing in the morning tomorrow, right? As far as reversing chronic illness and reaching your goals and things like that, right? Hello room. Hello room. Hello all. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Let me know where everybody's tuning in from. City, state, country, town, province. Where you tuning in from? How you feeling today? Let me know. What's going on in the chat? Let me know. Some of the things I want to talk about tonight is I wanted to talk about. Let me move this mic a little closer. I wanted to talk a little bit more about meal prep. I want to talk a little bit more about, herbal teas, supplementation, things like that. What types of supplements are good to take? What foods should you target for certain illnesses? Things like that, right? So talking about these types of things, right? Because we want to focus on things we can put into practice, right? To start reaching our goals, right? I've got apples, red grapes. It's a bit of a pattern for me, right? Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I got my set fruit bowls, right? So that's pretty much what I do. So I have my set teas throughout the day. I've got my set fruit bowls. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do my roasted peanuts, right? That's generally, I have a specific eating strategy that I like to go through. So I'm a deeply regimented person in that kind of way. Big shout out to North Carolina, Lady T. What's going on? Welcome. Atlanta, big shout out to you tuning in from Atlanta. ATL, but from Haiti. Big shout out to Haiti. Big shout out to ATL by way of Haiti. Or big shout out to Haiti by way of Atlanta. Good evening from Jacksonville, Florida. What's going on? Hypothyroid disease. All right, well, let's talk about hypothyroid. Let's talk about that. Folks, double tap the screen to like the stream. You know how I get down. This is going to be another good one. I had red grapes and watermelon. There we go. A lot of people tuning in from Atlanta. Look at that. Coral Springs, Florida. What's going on? Welcome. So Hashimoto's disease, right? The thyroid, well, no, you didn't say Hashimoto's. You just said hypothyroid, right? Now, the whole hypothyroid thing, just because you've been diagnosed with hypothyroid disorder does not necessarily mean that there's something wrong with your thyroid. Now, when it comes to your thyroid health, generally, this has to do with not just your thyroid, but your pituitary gland and your liver. Right? So generally speaking, your brain chemistry will directly affect your pituitary gland and then trickle down to your thyroid and then trickle down to your liver. And then your liver health will directly influence your thyroid and thus your pituitary gland, right? So if there is a mix-up in the signaling, what happens is you end up getting, let's say, you get a lot of thyroid stimulating hormone being released from the pituitary gland, and you may be getting an overproduction of T4 and an underproduction of T3. You could be getting an underproduction of T4, therefore having a lack of conversion of T4 to T3. And then in the thyroid, you could have a lack of T3 hormone production, right? So there's a variety of different ways or things that can happen. Generally speaking, a lot of people who have some type of hypothyroid issue usually have a degree of fatty liver and insulin resistance, right? People who have a hypothyroid usually live in a perpetual state of chronic inflammation and elevated cortisol levels, right? So you're probably dealing with poor sleep quality for a very long period of time, right? It could be weeks, months, years of just poor sleep quality, right? And then you have foods that are inflammatory. And I'll be talking about that a little bit more also. I'll be talking about that a little bit more in depth about inflammatory foods, right? Because that's the thing that really needs to talk about. But in any case, there are a few things that you can do to improve your thyroid function. You can do, let's say, well, there's three options, right? There are fruits, there are vegetables, there's herbs and spices that you can use in teas, there's juicing, right? So there's actually a few. And then, of course, there's exercise, right, to help expedite the removal and release of fat from the liver. So let's say you wake up first thing in the morning and you drink a quarter teaspoon of matcha powder with a quarter teaspoon of Moringa powder and a pinch of cayenne pepper, right? This will help to increase oxygen intake, right? This will also help to raise your metabolic rate, right? To stimulate fat metabolism, as well as glucose intake into your cells, your skeletal muscle tissue, and things like that, right? And as your muscle takes in more glucose and stores that as glycogen in your cells, your body then responds to that by mobilizing fat from your liver and dumps that into your bloodstream and sends that to all the other cells of your body, right? So basically what happens, generally speaking, is fat that's stored in your liver and all of the other fat cells of your body may not be broken down, oxidized, and released into your bloodstream to be used for energy, right, in the form of glucose, because there's nowhere to really send it, right? So one thing about people who are insulin resistant is they often deal with chronic fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion, and then, of course, that leads to poor sleep quality, things like that. And that's because, generally speaking, a large portion of what your body does when it comes to energy expenditure is manage traffic, right? So there's traffic control. And so, generally speaking, glucose gets sent to all of the cells in your body, especially muscle tissue, and muscle tissue is very metabolically active. When muscle glycogen is low, fat is converted into glucose and then released into the bloodstream, and that gets absorbed into your muscle tissue, right? In order to replenish your muscle tissue with more energy, right? To facilitate the recovery process and build up more ATP, etc. But without the intake of glucose into the muscle tissue, that whole switch from one place to the other doesn't really happen. And so you get this stagnation of energy. And then in the process of that, you get an excess acid buildup. So something like Moringa improves not just glucose intake, not just glucose absorption. It doesn't just increase insulin sensitivity, right? But it also improves the functionality of the pancreas. So your insulin becomes more effective, your cells become more receptive to insulin, and then your pancreas becomes more efficient. So that the insulin that is released, you need less insulin than you did previously. The more insulin resistant you are, the more insulin you need, which means your pancreas has to work harder, right? So when you improve insulin sensitivity, your pancreas doesn't have to work so hard, which means you get more bang for your buck as far as the amount of insulin that your pancreas releases and how much it actually needs, right? So Moringa helps with that. Matcha helps with the conversion of glucose into energy and metabolic stimulation and the increase, right? So matcha is also loaded with antioxidants, so is Moringa. So generally speaking, when you flood your body with these antioxidants, what happens is the stress in your body comes down, which means your cortisol levels can also come down with it. If your cortisol levels drop, what happens is the feel-good hormones then come up, brings your metabolism to a healthy level, and incentivizes insulin sensitivity and the reduction of fat storage in your liver, as well as every other cell in your body. So essentially, these two things decongest your body. Now, cayenne pepper, it increases oxygen intake into the lungs. Cayenne pepper is very good for fat metabolism because of the effect that it has on oxygen intake. Right? Really clears your lungs out, really opens your lungs up to being able to push out more carbon dioxide and absorb more oxygen. Right? So that's traffic control. That cayenne pepper can reduce acid buildup, mucus buildup in the lungs, right? So when you have like an upper respiratory infection, for example, right? Cayenne pepper helps to clear that up. It's alkaline forming, which helps to push acid out. So like when you have phlegm and you're coughing and trying to get that out, your body's basically trying to remove acid, right? The mucus is a result of inflammation. Cayenne pepper assists in the removal of toxins, carbon dioxide, free radicals, etc., and that reduces the mucus. So you're not perpetually just coughing up tons of mucus constantly, because your body starts producing less mucus because there's other things aiding in the removal of toxins floating around your body wreaking havoc. So if you don't have an upper respiratory illness, cayenne pepper still optimizes lung function. At least that's one of the things that it does. It also facilitates vascular dilation, which also increases oxygen intake as well as nutrient absorption, as far as amino acids, vitamins, and minerals, etc., shipping those things to all of your cells to be used for a variety of different things. So when you combine these three elements in your, let's say, your morning tea, that would help with hypothyroid. It's just one example, right? So you start your morning with that kind of tea, optimize your metabolism, and then you have several cups of, let's say, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, or pineapple, papaya. You have a couple mangoes, whatever the case is. You get loaded up with potassium, vitamin C, vitamin E, B vitamins, magnesium, all of these different things, and a ton of water, right? Because hydration is very important, especially if you have hypothyroid. Last thing you want to do is be dehydrated, right? So flooding your body with these antioxidants from the teas, and then the water and the vitamin C and the B vitamins and whatnot from the fruit, that is going to significantly also improve your energy levels as well as fat metabolism, right? So basically you use the food or the fruit to now capitalize on the tea that you had first thing in the morning. And the tea preps your body to regulate glucose, so you don't got to worry about an insane blood sugar spike, because that tea helps to regulate your blood sugar levels. So this is also very good for somebody who is insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, or just straight up diabetic. And this helps to reverse diabetes, specifically type 2 diabetes, as well as improve insulin sensitivity in people who are type 1. Right? So as far as hypothyroid, of course, you got to exercise, right? You got to be mobile. One of the things you do not want to do when you have a hypothyroid condition is you don't want to be stagnant. Daily exercise is something that's going to be extremely beneficial, because that goes back to the traffic control thing that I was talking about, decongestion. When your body is used to synthesizing energy and then using energy, so basically your body generates it. Generate is probably not the right word, because you don't create energy or destroy it. Basically, there's a conversion process. But your body takes your food, converts it into energy. That energy gets used through the activity you engage in, and there's a cycle that happens. And the longer you participate in that cycle, you develop momentum. And this increases the frequency. So it's kind of like in Tuesday when I was talking about the triad of human health, right? And so you pluck one side of the wheel of the triad, and that thing starts rotating. And you pluck 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it spins faster and faster. And that increases frequency, which improves human health, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that, right? Your metabolism is the same thing. So this is why people end up becoming more fit over time. This is how people become athletes. Is because they perpetually engage in physical labor, and their body adapts to that lifestyle. And so whatever exercise you're doing, ultimately it gets easier and easier and easier, and then you can then graduate to more intense exercise, and then that perpetuates. That's the spinning of the wheel. That's the momentum building up. You start building more muscle, you start building more mitochondria, you start burning fat more often. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard as far as oxygenating your blood, so that it doesn't have to beat as hard. So you can have a resting heart rate of 50, like me, but then at the same time, you increase the amount of fat that you burn because your heart doesn't have to work as hard, but your oxygen efficiency, your VO2 is high. So then when you're at rest, you're burning more fat at rest, and your body is regenerating and building up more glycogen storage at rest, in preparation for physical activity. So there's this whole momentum that takes place. And once you get that started, all you got to do is maintain it and build on it. The hardest thing is getting started. So as you build that momentum, you clear excess stored fat out of your liver, you clear excess stored fat out of your skeletal muscle tissue, you start to clear excess stored visceral fat from around your organs, etc. You start to that stuff starts getting washed out with every rotation. And when you're putting in foods that are conducive to maintaining a lean physique, and then you're pushing out the stuff, all the gunk, the excess fat, the toxins, that stuff's getting pushed out, and then you're putting good stuff in. And eventually what happens is you replace the bad stuff with the good stuff and wash out the bad stuff. So those antioxidants and stuff, they protect your cells. The exercise expedites autophagy, which is the breakdown and removal of old, dead, damaged cells. And so basically it's a cleanse, but that cleanse is facilitated by the momentum from that lifestyle. So if you do the herbal teas, the fruits, the smoothie, the midday smoothie, followed by the fruits, then the herbal teas before bed, and you alternate, right? Or, you wake up in the morning, teas, fruits, oat pudding, tea again, fruits, and then you go back to your teas, and then a bowl of roasted nuts, and then your teas again, and then you go to sleep, right? Or you can do your teas twice a week, right? So you do your not twice a week, twice a day. So you do your herbal teas in the beginning, in the morning, and before you go to bed. And then you just hydrate in the middle of the day with something probably like I like to do, where I'll drink like 12 to 16 ounces of water with 3 grams of citrulline and 5 grams of creatine. And I'll drink that like an hour before my workout or so. So I'll do something like that, right? And this is like a pattern that you can follow that would improve your thyroid function, right? Or at least that's one of the patterns. Now it can change and vary from person to person, but that's pretty much the gist of it. All right, let me catch up with y'all in the comments. Do you buy your not raw and roasted? Oh, you mean do you buy your nuts raw and roast yourself? No, I buy them roasted. Because I'm lazy. Yeah, like, I'll just buy roasted nuts. But I buy them in the shell. The roasted nuts. So I buy the roasted peanuts, I buy them in the shell. Because, I crack them and then, then I eat them and that kind of thing. I generally enjoy doing that, and I think it's good for me to manage my how much I eat too, so I don't overeat the nuts. What is measurements of each to put in your tea? I usually do a 1/4 teaspoon at a time, or if I'm doing something really strong like nutmeg or cayenne pepper, I would only use a pinch of that stuff. If I'm using cumin, I put like a pinch of it because it's really strong stuff. Let's see. I exercise. The name of the tea is called matcha. Yes, matcha. What kind of tea? Oh, yeah, I mentioned matcha and moringa with a pinch of tea, with a pinch of cayenne pepper. Don Ann, thank you for the lightning bolts and the finger heart. Appreciate you. Coming through with the love on the stream as always. Much love to you on here. Let's see. Gigi, what's going on? Gigi, you keeping the momentum? You staying focused? Staying on course? Keeping it tight? You know what I'm saying? Being ultra disciplined. By the way, I don't sweeten my teas. How to use the cayenne pepper? I put a pinch of it in with my other stuff. Where can I get this powder from? I ordered the matcha and the moringa powder online. Cayenne pepper, I got that from the store. That stuff lasts for a long time because you don't really use that much of it at a time. 5-star. Thank you for the 2 chilies. Appreciate you. Joseph, what's going on? Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Riri, thank you for the rose. Big shout out to you. 5-star with the 2 fires. Thank you. Appreciate you. Coming through with the love on the stream. It's all appreciated. By the way, big shout out to Camden, New Jersey. Camden, Atlanta. Big shout out to you. Barbados, what's going on? Big shout out to my Bayesian people. Gigi, thank you for the rose. 73 Lamont, big shout out to you tuning in from Dallas. All right. Yes, y'all. We're keeping it a little light tonight. Do I fast? I haven't been really fasting lately, to be honest. I eat from sun up to sundown pretty much. But my eating windows, quite honestly, are like 12 hours. I don't really do much fasting lately, but I have my seasons where I do. But, with the fasting, though, you got to take a break from it sometimes. Will a fruit fast hurt if I have PCOS insulin resistance? No, it'll actually help. Gigi fasted until 12 noon. You fasted until 12 noon. Focused it is. That's what I'm talking about. What are the keys to losing weight on a raw vegan diet? Okay, so yeah, basically, it's a fun fact is that not everyone who has PCOS is insulin resistant. There's I think it's what is the number? It's actually 60% of the people with PCOS actually are insulin resistant. 40% are actually not insulin resistant. But yeah, as far as PCOS is, so a raw vegan diet would be very good for somebody with PCOS, because essentially what happens is you starve out the growths, right? So the cysts that grow on your ovaries, you can actually starve those out, with a raw vegan diet. People talk about, aren't these things fed by sugar? And it's well, yes and no. But the thing is that in order for these growths to exist, they have to be in the right environment. When you have an alkaline environment and you have an abundance of these alkaline elements forming in your body, you have these antioxidants and polyphenols and carotenoids and all this type of stuff floating around in your bloodstream. And you build up your gut microbiome. It is very unlikely that there is going to be enough of a hospitable environment for cysts and tumors and things to grow. Your nervous system will be too strong and dialed in for it, and it just is not the right environment, and they don't have enough food. Right? And when you get the fruit from sugar, sugar is so rich in water that it's not really that easy to get too much sugar from the fruit, because you can't really binge eat fruit because there's so much fiber and water, so it's very filling. You can only eat but so much at a time. So when you're doing the herbal teas and stuff, and you're doing the fruits and you're eating your leafy greens, essentially what happens is you starve out parasites, you starve out harmful bacteria, you starve out the cysts, and then pretty much they just get eliminated from your body over time, right? And so the longer you eat like that, you become less and less and less symptomatic over time. Folks, double tap the screen to like the stream. And it helps endometriosis. Raw vegan helped it tremendously. Just lost so much weight. Oh, so yeah, endometriosis is very interesting, right? And you know, a lot of doctors, most doctors don't really know how to deal with endometriosis. And the best thing that I've come across for people with endometriosis is a raw vegan diet. Because when you're dealing with something like endometriosis, the best thing that you can do, right, is reduce oxidative stress and balance out your minerals, right? Mineralizing your body. So one thing that could be very devastating for people with endometriosis is the overconsumption of iron, right? So this excess buildup of iron can make your cycle brutal when your period hits, right? It can be very overbearing on your uterus, right? If you get the excess buildup of methionine and cysteine and iron, and then you have a lack of magnesium, and then you have a lack of copper, and then you're getting an excess amount of calcium from eating meat, right? Because meat can actually be high in calcium because it's muscle tissue, right? And calcium is largely stored in muscle tissue. And then if you're consuming dairy, right? So you end up getting a disproportionate amount of calcium to magnesium. And so then what happens is that when you have this buildup of calcium to an excessive degree, you're more likely to experience calcification of the different organs in your body. You can get calcification of your heart. You can get calcification in your arteries, right? Your vascular system. You can get calcium deposits in your uterus. You can get calcium deposits in your gallbladder, kidneys, right? Things like that. Excess K2, vitamin K2, right? You can get overclotting of your blood. And that's because these things are unregulated. Heme iron is unregulated. Methionine and cysteine are unregulated. You can absorb too much. Carnitine, you can absorb too much. Right? And then it becomes inflammatory over time. Carnitine is a type of amino acid that is largely found in meat. Right? Now, a little bit of carnitine is fine, and your body will make its own. But consuming too much of it through repetitious meat consumption can lead to the overaccumulation of it, and it can be deeply inflammatory, especially to your vascular system. Too much iron deposited in the body, that iron is then becomes susceptible to reactive oxygen species, right? That causes the damaging and oxidation of that iron, right? So that can actually become corrosive, right? And it has the same effect on your body as acid. Now, when your body is really toxic, as a woman, one of your body's primary ways of removing toxins out of your body is through your menstrual cycle. In fact, that's how your body flushes out a bunch of excess iron. It's through your menstrual cycle. Us as men, we don't have that, right? But if you have an overaccumulation of toxins from this conventional way of eating, you can develop endometriosis to the point where you feel like you got like a boa constrictor wrapping around your body, and it's covered in spikes, right? So it can feel like sharp pains and being stabbed in your gut with knives and all of this, right? It's a terrible feeling. Because that chronic inflammation can manifest in that kind of pain. So a raw vegan diet regulates mineral absorption, iron, vitamin absorption, right? Amino acid absorption. And then your menstrual cycles won't even necessarily last as long, right? That could be like 3 days, right? And it doesn't, and it's not like this draining, brutal experience. What happens when you no longer get menstrual cycle? Well, it depends. I mean, it could be menopause, right? That's usually what the case is. Ethiopian lady, true. Double tap the screen to like the stream. I don't take the vitamin pill today, but I have my potassium so low that if I stopped eating, wouldn't bad. I didn't take the vitamin pill today. I've had my potassium so low. Yeah, I mean, one of the best sources of potassium, quite honestly, is fruit. Sweet potato is another good one. Butternut squash. Collagen eliminated my knee issues and losing weight. Improving your gut microbiome and eating an abundance of fruit actually helps your body to generate more collagen on its own. I think like 41% of all of the proteins in your body is collagen. So your body is always producing its own collagen, right? But it does it, with a combination of a variety of vitamin C and several other amino acids. No, fruit is not all I eat. No. It's a dietary staple, that's for sure. But it's not all I eat. I eat a pretty decent variety of foods. How do you treat iron deficiency? One of the best ways that I've found to treat iron deficiency is reversing fatty liver and eating copper-rich foods. So, dark leafy greens, cooking with turmeric, curry, cumin, stews, for example, or like soups, right? Well seasoned, right? Those are very good. Lentils, chickpeas, black beans, red kidney beans, celery, leeks, bell peppers, mushrooms, soybeans, things like that. And so you don't have to be completely raw, right? I'm a big fan of a high raw vegan diet. So you may eat raw all day and then have a cooked meal at night. Where you have some type of stew or soup and you've got all types of, yams and greens and tubers, carrots and cauliflower, mustard greens, pumpkin seed kernels, all this type of stuff in the soup. You can put all of that in a crock pot too if you wanted to, and then season it up with all of your different seasons, your oregano, basil, thyme, paprika, all of this, right? And that's really good. mineralizing your body, alkalizing your body, and generally that improves. Because a lot of the times, people's diet doesn't really lack iron. The problem is iron absorption and iron synthesis, right? So when I say iron absorption, what I really mean is iron synthesis. Use it because that iron has to be paired with copper and B vitamins and vitamin C in order to be used and converted into new red blood cells, right? I have terrible pain in both knees. If it's a result of inflammation, I would say a good thing to do, generally speaking, like turmeric is very good for joint pain. Turmeric, cat's claw, that's another one. Those are probably going to be like my top 2 picks that I can think of right now, as far as for joint pain. Right. Ginger is also good. Right, but turmeric in particular is very good for reducing joint inflammation. Oregano. Sativa nigella or cumin, black seed. Those are the ones that come to mind for me right now. And then of course having a diet rich in vitamin C. You need that vitamin C in order to build new connective tissue. Yes, collagen, but connective tissue, right? In case it's like it's a damage to connective tissue sort of thing. Right? A lot of people, they have joint pain, and it's not because like their cartilage is worn out. It's more so of a lack of B vitamins paired with chronic inflammation due to free radicals just roaming around tearing their joints out. Zinc and vitamin D3 is a good pair also for a lot of things. Bolstering your immune system, joint pain relief. As well as your metabolism, glucose and fat metabolism. So those things are also good too. I'm about to be raw vegan because I lost 6 pounds in 3 days. Ate cereal last night and gained it back? What kind of cereal did you eat? I have osteoarthritis in my hips. Will the raw vegan diet help? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. I used to live in joint pain. Okay? I used to live in it. Let me tell you something. I used to have back pain. I used to have pain in my elbows, my shoulders, my neck. I had pain in my left hip, my left knee, my left ankle, my right wrist. I had all types of crossing up with the pains and whatnot going on. Lower back. Now, I don't really feel any kind of joint pain at all anymore. Right? I used to have food allergies. I used to have chronic food allergies. Man, let me tell you something. Not chronic food allergies, seasonal allergies. Like pollen and dust and dander. I was allergic to cats, dogs, trees, everything. It was bad. I felt like I had asthma sometimes. I used to have chronic headaches all the time. How to rid fibroids. Number 1, alkalizing the body is 1. Number 2 is staying hydrated. Number 3 is basically flooding your body with the antioxidants that protect your cells and kill those kind of growths. Number 3, what would number 3 be? Exercise, generally speaking. Managing, so basically, improving insulin sensitivity is one of the best ways, actually, to shrink your fibroids. And generally, you're going to do that through a raw vegan diet and exercise. Right? So the herbal teas and things would help. The stews would help. Like what I was talking about, those heavily seasoned, delicious stews. But what you don't want to do with the stews if you got fibroids is you don't want to go crazy with the starchy stuff. So you want it to be... you want it to be more dominated by legumes, carrots, cucumbers, squash, leafy greens, like really cruciferous leafy greens, celery, things like that. But you don't want to go crazy with the potatoes in it, right? Lentils is really good, right? But, getting in those bitters, and that helps to reduce fibroids, because fibroids predominantly grow from excess estrogen and glucose. So you're more likely to develop fibroids from having excessively high blood sugar levels. Things that will tend to crank up your blood sugar levels are going to be chronic inflammation or just eating too much processed sugary foods. Sugar in and of itself is not going to do it, right? So like fruit may have a lot of sugar, but it also has a lot of water and fiber. So the water and the fiber, as well as the magnesium and the potassium and all of this stuff, offset the sugar. So you got to look at both sides of the ledger. Right. Organic fruits versus regular fruits. The fruits that you should really prioritize getting organic are the ones where you eat the skin, like apples. So berries you should get organic. Apples you should get organic. Grapes you should get organic. Dark leafy greens you should get organic. The things generally that you don't necessarily need to get organic are the things that you peel. Like kiwis or bananas. Or like watermelon. Or really any types of melons, right? Or avocado. Ideally, you'd want to get all of your produce organic, but obviously they can be very expensive. Oh, and whole grains. So like if you're going to do like oats or something like that, you want to get those organic. For sure, yeah. You don't want to get conventional. You don't really want to get conventional oats, for example. You don't want to do that. How to build the gut microbiome. Plant-based yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, pickles, kombucha. Those are some ones that those are probiotic rich foods. Papaya also helps to rebuild your gut microbiome. Grapes, apples, mangoes, berries, goji berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, that kind of thing. Prebiotic fibers, the really cruciferous greens. So it could be things like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, mustard greens, kale, right, to get those prebiotic fibers. Jerusalem artichoke, asparagus. And then, of course, herbal teas. Milk thistle, dandelion tea. Sea moss, that's a good one. Moringa. Moringa's like one of my favorites. That's clutch right there. And then you can even get like a prebiotic fiber supplement. Prebiotic supplements are essentially just like it's like the prebiotics from the very prebiotic rich foods. and they dehydrate it and pulverize it and turn it into a powder. You can add it to like water and drink it and stuff. Prebiotics are basically types of fiber that feed probiotics. So you got the probiotics, which are the beneficial gut flora, and then the prebiotics, which is what they eat. Do I eat eggshells? Oh God, no. I don't eat anything. I don't eat anything from an animal. I haven't in 9 years. Can you talk more about Moringa? Yeah, Moringa is like, it's like a Swiss Army knife of human health, human wellness. It can improve your improve your blood pressure, your blood sugar, build your gut microbiome, improve your upper respiratory system, dilate your vascular system, ease muscle soreness, improve eyesight, balance hormones, improve skin quality, all that kind of stuff. What fruit should someone eat if they're pre-diabetic? There's not many fruits I would tell people to avoid if they're pre-diabetic. I think it really just is what quantities you eat them in, right? So obviously, like, you can eat 4 to 6 cups of watermelon, but I wouldn't say to eat, let's say, I wouldn't say to eat 4 to 6 cups of raisins, right? I probably wouldn't say that. Eat 4 to 6 cups of dates, right? I probably wouldn't say that. So the type of fruit you eat, it really depends. You can eat 4 cups of cantaloupe. It's probably not a good idea to just eat 4 cups of apple, right? Probably not a good idea to do that. So the quantity is where the nuance kicks in, and then the pairing. So I'm a big fan of pairing kiwis and berries with leafy greens. I'm a big fan of pairing apples with grapes. I'm a big fan of pairing citrus fruits together. I'm a big fan of pairing papaya and mango together, or mango and pineapple together. I'm a big fan of pairing watermelon and honeydew together, or watermelon and cantaloupe together. I'm also a big fan of eating watermelon just straight up by itself. Apples go well with pears. Pears go well with grapes. Bananas can pretty much go with, not anything, but like, bananas can actually go together very well with avocado. Bananas go very well with cantaloupe, mango, papaya, things like that. Banana actually goes well with those things. But bananas are very good by themselves or with smoothies. If you're worried about your blood sugar with bananas, you can use bananas in a smoothie and mix that with chia seeds or flax seeds with cinnamon and cacao powder. So you can make a banana pudding and you add cacao powder and cinnamon to it, and that helps with the blood sugar. You can add hemp seeds or flax seeds, and that would also help with your blood sugar. And that also would give you extra protein and magnesium and manganese and a variety of other things, right? So that pairing matters, right? So the actual meal structure itself is I would pay more attention to there. Folks, double tap the screen to like the stream. Is it true that fruits cleanse the body and vegetables build the gut? They do both, actually. Both of them do both of those things. I would say fruits power the body, right? The leafy green vegetables aren't like a big source of energy because there's not a whole lot of like fat or carbohydrates or protein to the vegetables. Vegetables, leafy greens are almost like a multivitamin, right? Those are great sources for amino acids, essential fatty acids, EPA, minerals, that kind of thing, as well as fiber. And the fiber is very important for improving your gut lining, flushing, cleaning out your digestive tract, creating fecal bulk, as well as providing the prebiotics to feed your gut flora. Right. So, I mean, yeah, basically you're looking at a both and kind of situation there. What about orange and lemon skins? I wouldn't eat lemon skins. I wouldn't do that. Maybe it's fine to do. I don't know. But me personally, I wouldn't exactly tell somebody to eat lemon skins. Moringa got rid of my sciatic pain. Moringa is very good for like pain reduction, yeah, for sure. Moringa is actually very good for your menstrual cycle. Moringa and cat's claw. What about honey? I mean, honey is fine as a sweetener. Um, Honey, agave, dates, coconut sugar. Are microgreens good to grow or eat and eat? Microgreens are great. Yeah, like little sprouts and stuff. Yeah. Protein powders. As far as protein powders, I really only really use one kind, and that is pea protein isolate. Yeah, I already answered that. Let's see. Do I use creatine? Yes. I do 5 grams a day. I'm about to embark on my first 7-day fast. Oh, good luck. I'm rooting for you. To get rid of fibroids, plain and simple, I would probably say raw vegan diet is your best bet to get rid of fibroids. I talked a lot about fibroids earlier in the stream, but yeah, more pretty much either a high raw vegan diet or a completely raw vegan diet are your best bet as far as shrinking and getting rid of fibroids. You know, you shrink them, and then you shrink them enough they break apart, and then you flush them out. Is it true you should eat your fruits and vegetables separately? No. Pairing them together is actually a pretty smart idea. Do I have a chart with this pairing? I have diet plans available for members, and I also do personalized diet plans as well. By the way, if you guys are looking for help on your wellness journey, you're trying to reverse a chronic illness, like you're trying to get rid of fibroids or reverse diabetes or lower your blood pressure, lose weight, anything like that, I am a full-time vegan nutritionist and fitness coach. So I do this full-time, and I do personalized diet plans, personalized training plans, daily coaching support, and weekly coaching calls, right? And then, of course, I also have an option where you can book a call with me. And on the call, we can go through all of your questions, And then, you bring a pen and paper or something to take some notes down, and I'll give you some steps and things that you can do and enact on your journey to start moving towards those things. And then, of course, if you want more coaching support, we can do that as well. So if you go to my profile, which would be right up top here, and you hit the link in my bio, you can either book a call with me, you can sign up for coaching, or become a member. Members get access to my vegan nutrition course, recipes, video tutorials, fasting course, workout tutorials, workout plans, mock diet plans, raw vegan guidelines, Discord member community. You get direct access to chat with me, and I'm pretty much available to chat with all my members and whatnot on a daily basis. So yeah, definitely, I'm trying to build the community, and basically we're all on the ship of improving human wellness. So yeah, definitely hit the link in my bio with that. I actually just put up a testimonial today on YouTube, where within a 3-month period, she was able to reverse her food allergies, drop 15 pounds, and lose 4 inches off her waist. So I put up the testimonial interview on my YouTube channel. I actually just uploaded that today, so you can definitely take a look at that. And then I have another one coming of somebody who was able to drop 43 pounds and bring their A1C from like a 0.1 down to like a 6.7. And now they're down more than 50 pounds, right? So they went from 343 to now 296. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, she was on 18 different medications. She was able to get off of her medications and things like that. And so now we're currently working on reversing her seasonal allergies as well. So, all building on and completely reversing her type 2 diabetes. She's really close. I think right now, sometimes she wakes up with her blood sugar around 110. Sometimes it's in the 90s. Sometimes it's 130 if her allergies are really bothering her. But she's really close to have completely reversed her type 2 diabetes in like a 6-month period. Right? So within less than a year, we're reversing all of her health conditions. And then the only thing that she would have left to do is drop weight till she gets down to a healthy weight. But all of the other chronic health issues, once those are out of the way, and it's just down the weight loss, is smooth sailing from there. So I'll be putting up that testimonial next, and then I'll have another one that I'm doing with someone who has been able to cut 2/3 of their thyroid medication. So they were diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, and they were taking thyroid hormone for 12 years. And for the first time in 12 years, she's been able to lose weight. I think she's down like 10 or 12 pounds or something like that. And we've been able to cut 2/3 of her thyroid medication. It's either 2/3 or 3/4 of her medication. So she's almost completely off of her thyroid medication, with her thyroid working the way that it's supposed to. So her hormones are pretty much balanced out. She's sleeping better. She has way more energy. She has way more energy than she's had in the last decade. So really good stuff. So that's also dropping too. So essentially, I'm going to be dropping plenty of testimonials like this. So if you want to be one of those testimonials to create, your own kind of freedom journey where you get reverse chronic illnesses, whether it be PCOS, Hashimoto's, leaky gut, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, whatever the case is, I'm all about that life. So if you're ready to get busy and get on the journey to wellness, definitely hit the link right there in my bio and sign up. Are you vegetarian or all about fruits? I'm vegan. I'm what they call a high raw vegan. Is canned foods good? Is canned foods good? Canned foods, it depends on the can. Generally speaking, if you're going to get something in a can, it should be BPA free. If you're going to get something in a can, it shouldn't be sitting in, what's that called? Like a syrup. You should avoid it. You should avoid getting anything in a can that is not BPA free. So I wouldn't get anything if the can's not BPA free, and I wouldn't get anything that's sitting in syrup, and I wouldn't get anything that has added salt to it. Generally speaking, the only things that I get out of a can are beans. That's really the only thing for me personally. That's the only thing I get out of a can. Everything else, I'd rather get fresh. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much my take on that. What kind of effect does alcohol have on the gut microbiome? It destroys it. Yeah, alcohol is poison. It's literally poison. Like, it can kill you. It is a toxin. Right? So yeah, it is a toxin. It can definitely kill your gut bacteria. It can destroy your gut microbiome for sure. Because it's alcohol. I mean, nothing really lives in alcohol. So it's pretty much like dumping a forest fire in your gut. Alcohol will turn your liver into a fatty liver. It'll crush your liver cells. And it can also destroy your kidneys and your pancreas. As well as damage your vascular system. To the point where you can end up having cracks and all types of erosion to your esophageal lining, your stomach lining, your veins, blood capillaries, etc. It's really caustic stuff. It can destroy your brain chemistry and limit blood oxygen levels to the point where it can cause brain damage. Canned soya, tofu, really bad for testosterone. Tofu does not have any negative effects on testosterone. So when people talk about like soy or tofu and its effects on testosterone, and they say, oh, because it raises estrogen. No, it doesn't. Or they'll say tofu is high in estrogen. But what they leave out is the type of estrogen. It's high in phytoestrogens, not mammalian estrogens. And it's not even particularly significantly high in phytoestrogens either. I mean, all plant foods have phytoestrogens. Mammalian estrogens are the estrogens that can impede testosterone levels. Phytoestrogens actually regulate mammalian estrogen because it limits their ability to attach to your cell receptors. Right? So phytoestrogen limits the accumulation of mammalian estrogen in your body. Right? So, no, it actually has the opposite effect. Those phytoestrogens actually help to regulate your hormones. I think gut health is the missing link to improving of health ailments? True. Folks, double tap the screen to like the stream. What other supplements do I take? Vitamin D. I put 3 grams of citrulline in my water, 5 grams of creatine in my water. I drink that before my workout. That's like my stimulant-free pre-workout. because I no longer do caffeine. The only caffeine I get is caffeine from matcha tea and cacao powder, which isn't really much caffeine at all. I used to drink like pre-workout supplements that had like beta-alanine and caffeine and all of that type of stuff in it, but I stopped. I stopped that a while ago. So I haven't been doing any type of stimulants or anything like that. Because caffeine can become a bit of a neurotoxin. And I don't do neurotoxins, folks. So, plus them food colorings and whatnot, I don't want to mess with any kind of food colorings or neurotoxins, right? So I generally avoid the caffeinated stuff. And I also don't want to suppress my appetite either. So I don't really have any interest in taking caffeine because of that. Substitute for nuts if you have a nut allergy. Legumes. So yeah, beans, lentils, peas, that type of thing, I would say is a good supplement for nuts. How many days should you fast for a gut cleanse? I mean, you don't necessarily need to fast at all for a gut cleanse, but I think you could probably do like a 24 or 36 hour fast once a week or twice a month. You could do that. Supplements for diabetics. Berberine. That's a good one. Magnesium, zinc, and chromium together. Those are good for diabetes as far as supplements are concerned. I'm trying to think what else. I think those are the main ones that come to mind right now. I may think of something else later. Is raw vegan good for muscle growth? Oh, inflammation. How can I get rid of it? Eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and herbal teas with turmeric, ginger, matcha, moringa, cayenne pepper, hibiscus tea, dandelion tea, thyme, oregano. Those are a few things that help to reduce inflammation. Deep breathing exercise, and good sleep quality all help to reduce inflammation. Let's see. Ooh, reducing inflammation. So reducing inflammation, joint pain, and increasing fat loss. There's there's two juices you can do. One juice you can do is you can juice pineapple, mango, moringa leaves, or you can do moringa powder with a thumb of ginger. That's a good one. Another one is grapefruit and cabbage. That's another juice you can do. And the third one would be beets, cucumber, apple, carrot, and mustard greens. You hear that? That's the jam. That is Lavender by L Train. Where's my screenshot button? I gotta save this. I just got a new laptop. I don't know where my screenshot button is. Is that it? Is that the button? Oh, okay. That's not it. That's the jam right there. I gotta remember that. I'm gonna rewatch this stream. Lavender by L Train. I like that. That's the jam. Are figs okay for diabetics? I believe so. I don't see why they wouldn't. Let's look at the glycemic index of figs. Oh, nice. Look at you, Diane. She messaged it to me in the Discord. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna look back in the comments. I'm gonna see it. Dried figs weighing about 2 ounces, has a glycemic value index of 61. Okay, not too bad. A low glycemic index is 55 and below. So a serving of dried figs, which is 2 ounces, is a 61. So it's close enough. Figs are extremely beneficial for your health, I know that. Let me see. I'm gonna do some research on figs, actually. I'm not really too into dried fruits, but like I'm just not personally. I like the water-rich stuff. I like the watery rich fruits. You know what I'm saying? I like to drink and eat at the same time. I like to dreet. What is if you were to combine the word drink and eat, what word would that be? Dreek. I don't know, what would that be? What would that combo word be? Do you have testimonials? Yes. You can also you can go on my channel. I just posted a testimonial today, and then I'll be putting up another one next week. Where is your price list? If you hit the link in my bio, so like for example, if you go and you click on personal coaching, it'll show you the rates of what they are and what the packages include. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that information is in the link in my bio. Tell me more about your bracelet. Oh, the tiger eye beads? Yeah, I got my tiger eye leopard, and then I got my tiger. I'm a big fan of tiger eyes. I don't know what it means or anything. I just like the way it looks. I'm an earth tones person, as you can probably tell. I like sandy colors, sandstone, wood colors, green. Stuff like that. With transition from meat to vegan, how do you take a mindset of a 40 plus a year and change it? I mean, I guess it depends on the person. I think if you make a strong enough argument, right? So people ask me, I say, I like to say, so when people say, hey, what keeps you so motivated to eat so healthy? And I say, I don't have health insurance, right? It's a strong motivating factor. I can't play around with my health. I don't got health insurance. If you've got chronic illnesses, just understand that the way that you eat has gotten you what you've gotten. So, you know, you're going to give up the fried fish and bacon double cheeseburgers, or you want to hold on to the medications and eat, you know, how you've been eating and dig yourself in deeper and deeper. It's your choice, right? Ultimately, you got to decide, you know, how much is enough. But it depends on the values of the person. I view things through an ethical lens. So, for me, a large part of my reasoning to decide whether or not I do something is from my epistemic framework, okay? Let me get a little dorky, let me get a little nerdy here. And that is, you know, epistemic framework or epistemology, which is a moral framing, right, of how you discern right from wrong and where you place your values. Generally speaking, Yeah, sure, the animal products, they're not conducive to human health because human beings are largely herbivores. That's number one. But number two, I do not want to engage in an aggressive, parasitic, hostile relationship with my environment. So human beings will slaughter billions of animals per year. Like 100 billion. There's only like 7 billion or 8 billion people on the planet. So if you're slaughtering by the hundreds of billions every year, that means that you're producing way more death than anything else as a species. So the only thing on the planet that operates like that is a plague. I don't want to behave like a plague. Right? I identify as a person who is helpful and is committed to improving well-being. One of my foundational values is improving well-being, not only for myself, but for those around me. And that even includes animals. What I don't value is behaving like a plague because my taste buds get a certain sensation when I eat a particular thing. That's really what that comes down to, right? I don't want to behave like a plague because, generally speaking, we don't like plagues, and we would rather plagues not exist. And I think collectively we could all agree that if we could push a button to eliminate plagues, we would push that button. But if you yourself behave as a plague, well, understand that when you push that button, you eliminate yourself because you fall in that category. If you do not want to fall in that category, well, then the logical conclusion of that is doing things like being plant-based. Right? Doing your best to manage and reduce your carbon footprint. Things of this nature. It's never going to be 100%, but you do what you can as practically possible, right? So everything, me personally, I view everything in that lens and through an ethical framework, right? Even with my business, right? So even when it comes to pricing my services, one thing that I'm resistant to doing is raising my prices to the point where I price out the people I'm trying to help. So I undercharge. And especially because you look at, like, for the housing crisis, right? When prices keep climbing, eventually you create more homelessness because you create more people who can't afford homes. All right? Capitalism dictates, hey, you pursue profits by any means. So if you pursue profits, one of the best ways to increase profits is by raising your price. But when you raise your price, you just make what you have to offer more accessible to the most wealthy people. The most wealthy people are typically the ones that have everything and don't really have the illnesses. They don't really have chronic conditions. They have access to all the best doctors. They can go on vacations. They get access to all the organic produce. They already have everything. All the people who are sick are the ones struggling, often the people living paycheck to paycheck, etc. And if you price them out, you can't say that you're dedicated to helping people to reverse their chronic illnesses when the people with the chronic illnesses, you're pricing them out of your services. So you're choosing to make money rather than helping these people. That's my framework. So I say, well, what is a reasonable amount of skin in the game a person can put in to value the service while making it where I can be funded enough to be better at what I do? And that's the thing that I work out in my head. Right? So, hey, the funding goes towards, of course, keeping a roof over my head and eating, as well as increasing and improving my technology so I can produce more content, so I can do more videos, so I can do more of these live streams, etc. Right? So I can do more research, pay for education, or access studies, or whatever the case is. This is where a lot of my funding goes into. Is to building up my infrastructure online and my whatever, right? But all of this is kind of how I reason. So if you're 40 years old and you're like, how do I change my thinking? Well, how much of your thinking is based on your epistemic framework. Do you even know what your epistemic framework is? What are your core values that you use to determine how ethical something is or how unethical it is? I guess it's a long-winded answer, but just giving the most thorough answer to that I can give. There's things in this life that are more important than our own self-satisfaction and appeasement of, food cravings and things of this nature, right? There's things that's more important than cheeseburgers. There's things that's more important than grilling steaks, right? Let's see. Folks, double tap the screen to like the stream. Let's see here. I just get bored because I don't know what else to eat. What? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you'll know what to eat watching my streams because I'll be giving all types of lists of foods to eat. And then, of course, if you don't know what to eat, you may want to invest in a diet plan, right? I got up recipes and all of that. I know you didn't say you don't have health insurance. No, I don't have health insurance. I have IBS. You know what? I've helped like 2 other people, maybe 3, reverse IBS, where they don't have it anymore. So, IBS is pretty much something I've got. IBS, not too many people really have IBS. I don't really have a whole lot of people reach out to me for IBS. But the people who have, though, they've had phenomenal results because IBS is largely a gut health issue. So you build your gut microbiome and you stop having those issues. When I switched to plant-based whole foods, I saw mental clarity in 2 weeks. It happens quick. It happens quick. I struggle with boredom in food. Do you view food as a source of entertainment? It might be a thing you want to consider. So, for example, how many food options do you need to have in order to not be bored? Right? I think those are important questions to answer. How much variety do I need to have? Or what foods, So generally speaking, we like sweet, we like salty, we like crunchy, we like warm, we like cold. There's like certain sensations. We like spicy, hot. And so generally speaking, it's good to have options like for those. So if I'm having a salt craving or something like that, well, I have like, my red lentil sauce all over my chickpeas with my roasted cashews and my avocado slices, right? And that satiates, all of my spicy, salty, savory foods, right? And then sweet, I eat grapes and a variety of different fruits and stuff. So I satiate my cravings for warm foods, cold foods, sweet foods, salty foods, spicy foods, savory foods. So when you say you get bored, you may just need a little bit more variety to touch on those different sensations. Command Shift and number 3, all of them in the same time for a screenshot. I'm going to try that. Hold on a second. Did I do it? When you say command, is you talking about on an Apple? Because I'm using a PC. I don't have an Apple computer. So I don't know if that's for an Apple command. All right, let me catch up with y'all here. What about chocolate? Oh yeah, I grew up, man. Let me tell you something. I do cacao like every day. I love chocolate. I do my chocolate oat pudding. I mix nut butter in there. Ooh, man, let me tell you something. I be having that every morning, religiously, okay? My sweet chocolate oat pudding. Either the chocolate oat pudding, sliced bananas on top. That's where it's at. Do I eat rice? It's actually been a while since I've eaten rice. I haven't eaten rice in a few months. Has it been a few months? Probably like 2 months or something like that. I haven't eaten rice. I go through periods. Like sometimes I'll eat rice every day. Sometimes I won't eat rice for like a few months. You know, it's a seasonal thing. What were those 3 recipes you just mentioned? Oh, the juice recipes? The first one that I mentioned was juicing pineapple and mango with a thumb of ginger. The second one was grapefruit and cabbage. And then the third one was a beet with the beet greens or mustard greens, cucumber, carrot, and apple. Oh, see, I got a PC. That's not going to work for me. How much does it cost to work with you? So, I mean, to get started, like, let's say if you were to do, like, for 4 weeks at a time, that would be $200 for 4 weeks. So that pretty much breaks down to, like, hold on a second. It's like in between $5 and $6 a day. Basically, what I wanted to do was I was like, I want to make it like, I want to make it cost like a cup of Starbucks per day. So it's like if you can't afford to invest in like $6 a day or so for your health journey, you got much bigger problems. You got much bigger problems. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's another gem right there. $6.66. This is Bloom by Aveeno. This is my channel. Let me tell you something. This is my kind of music, okay? Let me tell you something. I don't talk constantly about stress and how you gotta lower your stress as some type of gimmick, okay? I am hardcore about stress reduction, okay? You can see it in my music. You can look at my videos and tell what I'm about. I'm about stress relief, y'all. I don't play. That's the crux of what I do, okay? It's about stress relief. We gotta calm it down. We gotta calm the body down, okay? We need some peace. Essentially, those of us struggling with chronic illness, we need peace. That's primarily what we need. We need peace, y'all. We gotta chill out a little bit. What's the best way to get rid of ED? Well, you definitely gotta improve blood flow and oxygen intake. I would definitely say you can start first thing in the morning with that matcha and moringa tea with the pinch of cayenne pepper. Follow that up with 6 cups of watermelon, or you juice a whole beet with the beet greens with the carrot and cucumber and an apple, and you drink that up. That's great for improving your blood flow, reducing inflammation, right? And when you improve blood flow, that's the catalyst to freeing up testosterone, right? Reducing inflammation, right? So eating way more fruit in your diet. Peanuts, actually, are very good for your testosterone level, okay? Cashews, very good for your testosterone levels. Peanuts, cashews, almonds, pistachios, walnuts, Brazil nuts. Avocado, raw onion, raw bell peppers, raw baby spinach, nutritional yeast. Those are big time for your testosterone, right? And for your blood flow, right? So things like that. Ginger and turmeric tea. Those two combined together. And then you can add a pinch of cayenne. And that's very good for your testosterone, right? Overall testosterone production and free testosterone level, right? And cut the meat out, all right? If you're eating animal products, you're getting a bunch of heme iron, which is unregulated and absorbed by your body. And when you absorb too much heme iron, that heme iron binds free testosterone. And so if you have enough of your free testosterone bound up, you can present as a person with low testosterone. So some people really have low testosterone because they have like a bit of atrophy in the gonads. And then you have some people where their testosterone production is fine, but their free testosterone levels are low as a result of that overaccumulation of heme iron. Uric acid accumulation. That's another thing that will drive down your testosterone levels. Because what happens is as your inflammation goes up and your stress goes up, your testosterone levels go down. And then now this increases the rate of testosterone aromatization. And then you get more testosterone conversion into estrogen. And then you gain body fat, and then the more body fat you have, body fat actually synthesizes and creates more estrogen, right? Your fat cells are little estrogen production factors. And so the more body fat you have, the more estrogen your body creates, right? So another thing to do in order to boost your testosterone is drop body fat, build muscle mass, right? So it's probably a much longer conversation, but I think those are probably the most important parts of it. Shelly Rose, what's going on? Welcome, good to see you on here. You can screenshot using control print screen keys. Yeah, but I don't see the print screen key. I don't see it. The power button is where the print screen key used to be on this Yeah, no. I gotta figure it out. I gotta Google it. Yeah. It's gotta be one of these F keys. I'm gonna figure it out, y'all, though. Don't worry. I'm gonna figure it out. Folks, double tap the screen to like the stream. Look, I'm going overtime. This is like old school stream. I'm about to hit 10 p.m. I love grapes, yeah. I be eating grapes like twice a day. Control shift in the minus sign. Let me see. Control shift in the minus sign. No, I did it. Nothing happened. That didn't work. This song is Thinking of You by Mommy Philanthrop and Kyle McAvoy. Hey, Coach, you're going until 10 o'clock tonight. I didn't plan to go until 10 o'clock. But, you know, we're doing the Q&A. Sometimes the Q&A runs a little late sometimes. Where do you do your schooling? What do you mean by that? Are those seeded grapes or seedless grapes? These grapes seem pretty seedless to me. Can you eat too many grapes? I think it's possible. I think you'd have to like deliberately try to do that. It's not easy to do. You know, it's not like, oh, I accidentally ate too many grapes. I don't really think that's possible. Do you intermittent fast? I used to, but I'm taking a break from the fasting stuff for a while. Window key shift plus S brings up the snipping tool. Oh, draw a shape to create a screen snip. What's a snip? I don't know what that is. What's a snip? I'm over here thinking I was tech savvy. I'm like, what's a screen snip? Is that a screen shot or what? I don't know. Have you helped anyone with neuropathy or CKD? Both. I've helped people get rid of their neuropathy as well as improve their kidney function. Seedless grapes are GMO. Incorrect. You can get organic seedless grapes. What do with cleanse? Like parasites out. Generally, you know what? Parasites absolutely hate the bitters. Those herbal teas like that cayenne pepper or cumin, oh, they hate that. Generally speaking, parasites do not like pepper. They don't like it. They don't like thyme. They don't like oregano. They don't like turmeric. They don't really like any of those things, to be quite honest. Yeah. They don't like basil. They don't like raw onion. They don't like that stuff. They don't like the bitters. You get them things in you. Let me tell you something. You'll see them parasites come out in your stool. I'm not going to talk about it too much because it can get a little gross, but you know, they come right on out. Cloves. Yeah, I mean, cloves are kind of strong, but yeah. Cloves ain't no joke, man. Cloves is like... Let me tell you something. I put it this way. My natural deodorant is clove oil. So I'll put a few drops of clove oil in my armpits. Because I don't use deodorant. I don't want my armpits caked up with nothing. So I'll use clove oil on my armpits. It does pretty good too. Because the smell comes from bacteria and whatnot anyway. So as long as you get rid of that bacteria and you eat right, so if you got these funky armpits, you got all kind of body odor smelling crazy, that's a bacteria issue, right? You got some biological stuff going on in the crevices of your body, right? Lots of biology going on, right? You got some biotic development going on in your creases. So, you know, you got to keep it clean, you know what I'm saying? Build the bacteria in your gut, but don't build the bacteria in your armpits. And when you take a shower, wash your legs. You know what I'm saying? Be thorough. That's probably one of the funniest things I've ever heard too. Somebody said that to me. I was watching this black girl. She was like, make sure when y'all shower, y'all bathe, make sure you use a washcloth. Don't rub the soap on your body. Use a washcloth or a loofah or something. And wash your legs. I didn't know why she was saying that because I came in kind of late, but I heard it and I was like, true! And it was funny to me. I don't know. Can you eat raw clove? I probably wouldn't advise that. And that's probably not going to feel so great going in. Or coming out. Probably not. You can steep them for tea. That's some strong tea. Okay? Brace yourself. It's going to be hot. They're strong. But yeah, cloves in the tea? Yeah. Are there any natural face care routines? Yeah, I guess you could wipe your face with tea tree oil. You can do like a turmeric treatment on your face. Aloe vera. You can rub aloe vera on your face like at night before you go to bed or something like that. I'm not an esthetician, so that's probably a bit out of my wheelhouse. You know what I mean? I don't really do so much for a skincare routine per se, so that's, you know. Generally speaking, though, when you eat better, it does wonders for your skin. I like strong stuff. I'm gonna try it. Uh-oh. We got an alcoholic in the stream. This is the person that walks, as soon as they step in the bar, they're like, yeah, let me get a shot of Chernobyl. Give me the 151X++ SE, where they put the film over the top because it's flammable. If you're living a healthy lifestyle, you won't need a rigorous skincare regimen. It probably won't need to be a regimen. It probably won't need to be rigorous, but that's more or less true. You know, the more work you put on in the inside, the less work you got to do on the outside. But did Jesus say this thing about like, if you just focus on washing the outside of the cup, the inside will still be dirty. But if you wash the inside of the cup, then ultimately the outside of the cup ends up getting clean too, right? That's so true, isn't that? You take care of inside, you know what I'm saying? And then it reflects outside. What are you eating? I'm eating grapes. The little baby grapes. A snip is a pic of your screen. I got you. Okay. All right. All right, folks. Do you take any supplements? Vitamin D, vitamin D, B12, and then before my workout, I do a 3-gram scoop of citrulline and a 5-gram scoop of creatine in water before my work, like an hour before my workout. Huh? Yeah, D3. Yeah. Well, I'm vitamin D, but yeah, D3. Yep. I don't take many supplements, but I'm not necessarily against supplements either. I think they have their place. But you got to optimize your diet first before you start getting on to all the supplementation stuff. Otherwise, you'll be popping all kind of pills. But yeah, all right. That's my time tonight, folks. I'm wrapping it up. I'm trying to get to bed at a decent time tonight. You know what I'm saying? I got to tighten up on the bedtime. I gotta go take a shower and wind down. It's been fun, folks. It's been real. I will catch y'all on the next live stream, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So bless up, folks. Hit the link in my bio and jump on in if you need help. Diet, training, coaching calls, daily coaching support, vegan nutrition course, raw vegan guidelines, mindset and self-development series, recipes, video tutorials, Discord member group, all of that, okay? Huh? Oh, the clock, yeah. All right, y'all. Well, I'll catch y'all on the next stream, folks. Thanks for tuning in and come and hang out with me. And I will catch y'all next week.